is anirvachya. It's inexplicable. We can't explain it. What do you mean we can't explain it? Now see, there are two things. There's sat, is truth, and there's asat, which is untruth, right? The Bhagavad Gita, nasato vidyate bhavaha, right? There's sat. What does sat mean? Sat means pratiyate na badhyate. Okay? Sat means that I can experience something. It's there. It's there for me to experience, and na badhyate. It can never be negated. It's there, it's very, very much there, but na badhyate. It cannot be negated. No matter what we try to do to negate it, it can never be negated. For example, I can negate the body. How can I negate the body? Sometimes when I'm, let's say, working and I get very, very hungry, and if I get engrossed with my work, I forget about the body. The body's totally gone, isn't it? Body's totally gone. And sometimes the mind or the intellect is so disturbed, but if I'm so sleepy, gone. Because my mind and intellect are completely negated because I'm in deep sleep. All those disturbances that I had during the day are gone. But what's the thing that we can't negate is the self, the Atman. That is called Sat. Because it is there, it is ever experienced as oneself, and na badhyate. It can never be negated. No matter what we try to do, we cannot negate the self. We can negate the body. As I said, in deep sleep, pretty much everything gets negated. The body, the mind, the intellect, everything pretty much gets negated. But the self is ever there. So the self is called Sat. What is Asat? Asat means na pratiyate, na badhyate. Means it's not experienced at all, and therefore it's non-negatable, because we can't even experience it. Asat means we can't experience it. Like what? Like Shashavishana, right? This example in Vedanta comes again and again. Horns on a rabbit, horn on a hare, or horns on a rabbit. Or if I tell you, look at this tiger here, it's not there. It's not there. You can't experience it, therefore you can't negate it. Or they say like a barren woman's son. She can't have a son, so there's no son. So you can't, it's not there. You can't negate it. So this is known as Asat. It's completely not there. It's just not there, so you can't even negate it. Now the thing with this ignorance is, it is pratiyate but badhyate. It's experienced. This ignorance is experienced in the form of this world, in the form of this body, in the form of identifying with all these limitations. We experience it, but it's negatable. So pratiyate but badhyate. So it is experienced and we can negate it. So why is this ignorance inexplicable? Because it's not Sat, absolute reality, and it's not Asat, absolute non-reality, but it's kind of in between. It's not Sat and it's not Asat. So it falls somewhere in between. And that's why we say it's anirvachya. It's inexplicable. Sat asat bhyam bhinnam. So it's different from Sat, different from Asat. Because you can experience it, but you can still negate it. So that's why anirvachya. Now, how do we get, you keep saying that ignorance is the cause of sorrow. Ignorance is the cause of sorrow. How is ignorance the cause of sorrow? How is it the cause of sorrow? So a Vedantin has to understand this point very, very clearly. If we don't understand this, then the whole Vedanta is gone. So how is ignorance influence the cause of sorrow, there are 7 levels. 7 levels, okay? Sorrow. Why does sorrow happen? Okay, so you should write this in your notebook and think about it. Why does sorrow happen? Level 7. Level 7, identification with the body. That's level 7. Deha Abhimana. Okay? First, level 7 sorrow, I identify with the body. What happens is when I identify with the body, all pain, suffering will come because the dharma of the body is that. Shiryamanatvat Shariram, that which decays, that which undergoes all kinds of changes is called body. So the body, once I keep identifying with it, I will also face sorrow. And you think about it, every time we identify with the body, we do face sorrow. When the body is in pain and we identify with that pain, we feel sorrow. When the body has gained weight, we identify with that, we feel sorrow. When the hair is graying and we identify with that, we feel sorrow. Isn't it? So every time we identify with this body, so much sorrow comes. Level 7. Now, level 6. How did we get this body? How did we get it? Level 6 is karma phala, the fruits of my actions, otherwise known as punya papa. I did something, and as a result of that, I got this embodiment. So as I said, if we were, if we're born, that means we were ignorant. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gotten a body. So I did something, and I'm reaping the results of that. And that's why I have this kind of body. That's why I am where I am, because of my karma phala. So level 6, karma phala. Now, why do I have karma phala? Why am I reaping the results of my action? Because level 5, karma. I did action. I did action, therefore I have to get results. And this life is so funny because we come here to exhaust our prarabdha karma, to exhaust this, but while exhausting this, what do? Reap more karma and more karma and more karma, which means more bodies and more bodies and more bodies, right? So because I'm performing karma, karma phala. Because of a karma phala, I get a body. Now, level 4. Why am I performing karma? Why am I performing karma? I am performing karma because of my raga and dvesha. I am performing karma because of my likes and dislikes. I want this, so therefore let me go get it. I don't want this, so let me run away from it. If you remember the very basis of self-unfoldment when we had those classes, right? Why are we pursuing something? Because we like it. When we like something, we run towards it. And we don't like something, we run away from it. In our whole day, this is what we do. We run towards things that we like and run away from things that we don't like. We run towards people we like and run away from people we don't like. Even on your phone, what do? Reply to the ones you like, but you won't reply to the ones you don't like. Correct? Right? Raga dvesha. Now, why did this raga dvesha come? How did it come? What's the cause of this? So level 3 is called Shobhana Ashobhana Adhyasa. Means I superimpose happiness and sorrow on something. I have the notion that this will give me happiness, that's why I run towards it. I have the notion this will give me sorrow, so I run away from it. I am putting happiness on that. Who is creating happiness on an object? It is not Bhagavan. They have now, they'll have these restaurant reviews or whatever, right? Who is putting 5-star there? Not Bhagavan. Somebody is putting 5-star and making us think, if you get this, you will be happy. Correct? We are putting happiness on the object. Happiness is not on the object. One chocolate here will not make everybody here happy. Right? It won't. Some people just won't be happy, but we are putting happiness on it. We are saying, haha, if I get that, I'll be very happy. We are putting that in there. So it is because we superimpose happiness on something, we run towards it. But we are the one ascribing it. Otherwise, an object doesn't have any happiness content. This doesn't have any happiness content. We're ascribing happiness, thankfully, to AtmaBodha. So we're running towards it. Right? This is a good one. So, Shobhana, Ashobhana, Adhyasa. Why are we ascribing happiness towards things? Why? Because level 2, Dvaita Darshanam. Because we give reality to the world. We take objects, names and forms and things around us to be real. We take them to be absolutely real. We take them to be something of value. So we start ascribing, hey, if I get this, I'll be happy. And why are we giving so much reality to the world outside? Though knowing when we studied in AtmaBodha that this samsara is like swapna. It is just, appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing. Yet why am I giving it so much reality? Why? Because level 1, Advaita Atma Ajnanam, ignorance of the self. I don't know who I am. I forgot. I forgot that I am the nature of fullness. I forgot that I am every single thing that I need. I forgot that I am pure consciousness. I forgot this. Now you see how this works? No, you see. I forgot who I am. I don't remember. I don't know. Therefore, I give reality to the entire world. And I think it's very, very real. When actually the world it lies in me. I'm the substratum of the world. But I forget and I take this world to be so real. When I take this world to be so real, then I start doing Shobhana, Ashobhana, Adhyasa. I say, that will make me very happy. That will make me very happy. That will make me very happy. Once I start ascribing happiness to things and people outside, I run towards it. I run towards it. Then I perform action to get it, to procure it, to keep it towards me. For my emotional security, my financial security, just my overall security, I want to keep it towards me. And therefore, I have to get the results of whatever my actions are. And when I go through this cycle again and again and again, of course, I will get a body, a different embodiment. Because whatever results I have to experience, that causes another body. Every desire is contributing to a body. Every single desire we have for the world outside is contributing to another body for us to experience. Every single one of them. And then, when I get another body, lo and behold, sorrow is unavoidable. It's unavoidable. Have you seen a baby coming out of the womb? No baby laughs when they come out, right? No baby laughs. No baby laughs. The minute you come out already, you're crying. Janma eva bandha. Birth itself is bondage. And when people go also, it's a very sad thing. Birth is a sad thing, death is a sad thing. So you can now understand how deep this ignorance is and how many, many, many layers it has. That is Karana Sharira. That ignorance is Karana Sharira. So if we want to get out of this cycle, then we must break free from that ignorance. Otherwise, we're getting deeper and deeper into it every single day. every day. So this is clear? This is ignorance. So Atma is Upadhi Tritayat Anya, other than the Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. That know that to be Atma, other than these three Upadhis. Okay? Now, we move on to the next verse. Now here it's going to tell us now what exactly, so 10 to 14 was about Upadhis. Now what exactly is the problem with the Upadhis? What exactly is the problem? So verse 15 is the diagnosis. Okay? Panchakoshadi yogena Tattanmaya iva sthitah Shuddhatma Neelavastradi Yogena sphatiko yatha Panchakoshadi yogena Tattanmaya iva sthitah Shuddhatma Neelavastradi Yogena sphatiko yatha. So, what is the issue? Panchakoshadi yogena. Okay, yoga here means association. Association because of the Panchakoshas. Tat tanmaya iva sthitah. Tat tanmaya means it becomes full of that. Iva sthitah. It stays full of that. What stays full of that? Shuddhatma. That Atma, which is somehow associated with these 5 koshas, it appears like that. It just appears to be that. How? Can you give me an example? Neelavastradi yogena. Just like sphatiko yatha. Just like spatika, a crystal, when it is yogena, when it is associated with a cloth. And I showed you this also before, right? A cloth. When you put the cloth near the crystal, then it feels like the crystal is changing. When the Panchakoshas are there with Atma, it feels like Atma is changing. It feels like these Panchakoshas are me. So first we'll come to Panchakoshas, then you'll understand the example a little bit clearer. So, the problem is not the conditionings. This has to be very clear. The problem is not, somebody asked me, then why have a body, mind, intellect? I mean, it's so problematic. Why have a body, mind, intellect? The problem is identification with the conditionings. So even if you remember when I told you level 7, identification with the body. Problem is not the body, mind, and intellect, because even a realized person has a body, mind, intellect, and they don't have so many problems like us. The problem is the identification with it. When we identify, that's where the issue is. What is a conditioning exactly? What is an upadhi? Upasamipe stitva swayan gunan anyatra adadhati. Means staying near it as though throws its properties on the self. The body as though throws the property on the self. The mind as though throws its property on the self. The intellect as though throws its property. What is throwing properties? These 5 koshas. So if you remember in AtmaBodha, we studied the 3 bodies and the 5 koshas. They are just different ways to separate. To do Atma and Atma Viveka. They're just different ways to understand what is Atma. What are the 5 koshas? What's the first kosha? Annamaya kosha, which is? Food sheath. Right? What is the next kosha? Pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha. What is the next kosha? Manomaya kosha. Fail, AtmaBodha, fail. And okay, self-fulfillment, AtmaBodha. That's why there is AtmaBodha. Then after that there is another Bodha, I'm sure. Okay, after Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha.
We stopped identifying with them, that's why
We stop identifying with them, yes. And then there's Anandamaya kosha, right? Okay, so before we even get to Annamaya kosha, what happens is some people don't even go to Annamaya kosha. Their identification is, my child is my kosha. Huh? We have 5 koshas in the Shastra, but as I told you, if Adi Shankaracharya ji were here, he would have said we have 10 koshas. Mobile phone is 1 kosha, for sure. Right? Children, another kosha. Right? Parents, another kosha. Then our house is another kosha. Then our job or whatever is another kosha. So before we even come to Annamaya kosha, first we have to tackle these koshas. Okay? Right? Because right now that's a problem. Right now that's an issue. So we should, when we rewrite these things for modern day, we have to really take these things into account. Because we identify so much. Well, somebody forgets their mobile phone at home, everything goes crazy, right? You can't live. It's like something's missing. It's like you forgot your baby or something. Huh? Here also dog is another kosha. Right? Correct? The dog is a must, or coffee or whatever. So we have these things that we're so heavily identified with. We think that that's us. We think that that's ourselves. Or the kids are big kosha. If the child is sad, very sad. If the child is happy, very happy. Isn't it? Right? That's why Guruji always says, when you go to a performance and the kids are performing, don't watch the kids, watch their parents. You'll be more entertained. Because the parents, you should see in Gita chanting competition, watch the parents and how they're like, is my child gonna get it or not gonna get it? Oh, it's like a Bollywood movie. Right? So these koshas are there. Then only after we transcend to them, then we can come to Annamaya kosha. And Annamaya kosha is what? Why is the body called Annamaya kosha? It lives on food, right? It's made up of food, it's sustained by food, and it decomposes into food also. It goes back into food, isn't it? Especially when you fast, you'll feel this. You'll feel like something is weird with the body, So this body is nothing but food. It's nothing but the 5 elements which are now in the form of food, have been produced, have been harvested, and they become food. And then we eat that food, and that food becomes the body. This is all this is. Annamaya kosha. But yet, how much of our time goes into Annamaya kosha? The minute we wake up, what's for breakfast? Right? What on Annamaya kosha? Then after breakfast, you're thinking, now what should I cook for lunch? Right? And then lunchtime, if somebody's already saying, what are you having for dinner? What don't I? It is lunchtime. Annamaya kosha. How much we think about Annamaya kosha. If we just really think about our lives, so much part of our day is only on Annamaya kosha. Which is so sad because it's the 5th layer. It's the 5th layer. grossest one. And we're still in that level. Oh my goodness. Something has to happen. Right? So we're still in Annamaya. No matter how much Vedanta we study, we're still in Annamaya Kosha. And guess what Adi Shankaracharya ji says in Vivekachudamani? He says, if you don't pass this kosha, don't even talk about moksha. Don't even mention moksha. Don't even talk about it. Because that's the first hurdle to pass. He said, there's no talk. Because that's the level 1. No, we can't even go beat level 1 or we want to go to level 2. Wow, we need to, go step by step. And you also know, we talked about nourishing the body because we need to nourish the body to pursue this knowledge, but treat it as an instrument of service and to gain the highest knowledge. Nothing more than that. Nothing more. We don't need to want everyone to look at us and all of that. That's not the purpose of the body. That's why we put vibhuti, right? Because the body is ash, right? That's why we like agarbati, because this is ash. So many in our practices we have so many of these things to remind us that we're not the body, but we forget. Even when we put all these things, we do all these things, we forget. Next kosha, pranamaya. Pranamaya kosha consists of the 5 pranas. What are the 5 pranas? Prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. Right? Prana, swaha, right? Prana, respiration. Apana, evacuation. Vyana, circulation. Udana, reverse processes or ejection. Samana, digestion. So pranamaya kosha has to do with these physiological functions. It's that which makes these physiological functions work. And it also consists of the karmendriyas, the 5 karmendriyas. Faculty of grasping, walking, speaking, reproduction, and excretion. 5 karmendriyas. What happens with pranamaya kosha? What is the expression of it? I'm hungry. I'm tired. Right? My energy is drained. I'm exhausted. Isn't it? This pranamaya kosha is that level of identification. Or sometimes we get a stomach ache or our stomach isn't working well, our digestion is not proper. All of these things are functions of the pranamaya kosha. So once we get older, this is a big thing. This is a very, very big thing. So this is another level of identification. Then the third one, manomaya kosha. This level of identification we all know because we feel it, right? I'm very happy today. Or I'm very upset. Or I'm very sad. Or I'm very stressed. Or you're not taking my emotions into account. Like all of these emotional expressions come in manomaya kosha. We get lost in thinking that we are these thoughts. We are the mind. When so many thoughts come, each time a thought comes, I feel like I am that thought, I am that thought, I am that thought. All and on is manomaya kosha. Then, vijnanamaya kosha is the intellectual sheath where we identify with, I have knowledge, I know. We identify with very determinative thoughts. This is my belief system. This is who I am. Very strong kind of identity is vijnanamaya kosha. And in both manomaya and vijnanamaya kosha, we have that 5 jnanendriyas, faculty of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. Then anandamaya kosha. That when we identify with a deep bliss, like in deep sleep, that kind of bliss that we get. Or even in waking, when we get a very, very subtle kind of vritti, sukshma vritti, which is, we get on like a high, like a spiritual high or something like that. It is Anandamaya Kosha. So these 5 sheets are 5 conditionings that we have. There's no issue with it. But there's an issue when we identify with it. That's the big thing. And it says here that look, how you have now, imagine if you have a pure crystal, very, very just pure, beautiful crystal, and you put a yellow cloth in front of it. What happens? It appears yellow. It appears yellow. But it appears yellow, but is it actually becoming yellow? No. Because of the proximity, it appears yellow. Then you take out the yellow cloth and you put neela, a blue cloth. Is the crystal becoming blue? No. It's just appearing blue because of the proximity of the blue cloth. And then you take it and you put another cloth and another cloth. And the crystal somehow appears that it's having these different colors, but it's always pure. Our self, our true nature is always pure. But when these koshas, because they are near to us, they are very proximate to Atma, we feel as though Atma is that. Every time our thought changes, we feel that's who we are. Every time, something to do with our body, we feel that's who we are. We are the pure Atma. Nothing is happening to Atma. Zero is happening to Atma. But every time there's a change in the body or mind or intellect, or any time there's a change like that, it's like that cloth. Anytime there's a change in thoughts, it's like that cloth, and I feel like that's me. That's what's happening to me right now. But in reality, nothing can happen. That's why it says Shuddhatma. Nothing can happen to Atma. It is the purest, purest thing. Nothing can clean it. Nothing can purify it. In one of the texts that we are studying, that I'm studying, it says now, so many people have such a preoccupation with the body. But no matter how much you go on purifying the body, it will never be pure. No matter, maybe people put face pack and all, wrinkles will still be there. We try to dye our hair, white hair will still be there. Right? We try to, put cologne and everything, smell will still be there. Everybody's body will still smell. No matter how much we purify the body, it will still be impure. And that Atma doesn't need to be purified. So, what are we purifying for? This body will never be pure. It will always be impure. And that Atma will always be pure because that's its nature. So, the knowledge is knowing